Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Nitai Gora Hare, Nitai Gora Hare, Gora Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Om Vishwapad Paramamsa Parivrajacharya Sarasara Shishimad, His Divine Grace of Acharna Vinda Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Pandacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 26, the first 3 verses. 1 to 3. Narada Uvacha Sekada Maheshvaso. Sorry? Or the third verse only? Okay. So we're going to skip this first, second verses. Is that right? Oh, okay. Oh, the board is too small. Okay. Narada Vacha Saikada Maheshvaso Raktam Panchavas Asugam Devesham De Chakram Ekasham Trivenum Panchabadhuram Ekarasmi Ekadamanam Ekanidram De Kubaram Panchapaharanam Sapta Varutam Pancha Vikramam Aimo Paksharam Aruha Sarva Momukshaya Ye Sudhir Ekadasa Chamunatar Pancha Prastam Agadvanam. So, Aimo Prakasharam Arurya Swarna Varmaksaya Sudhir Ekadasha Chamunata Panchaprastam Gadvanam Ayama Pakshakaram Arura Swarna Varmakshaya Shudir Ekadasa Chamunata Panchaprastam Gadvanam Katasamunata Panchaprastam Gadvanam Emopakshakaram Mairuya Swarna Brahmakasaya Sudhir Ekadasa Chamunata Panchaprastam Gadvanam Inam Vishnu Prakshaya Swarna Varmakshaya Sudhir Ekadasa Chamunata Panchaprastam Gadvanam Mataji. Inam Prakasharamaya Swarna Vaksha Shaya Shudir Ekadasha Chamunata Panchaprastam Gadvanam Aruraya Swarnam Varmakshaya Shudir Pastam Gadvanam Narada Uvacha. Narada said, Sa King Paranjana Ekada, once upon a time, Maha Ishvaraha, carrying his strong bow and arrows, Ratam, chariot, Pancha Asvam, 5 horses, Asugam, going very swiftly, Dvi Isam, 2 arrows, Dvi Chakram, 2 wheels, Eka, 1, Aksam, axle, 3, Venum, flags, Pancha, 5, Badhuram, obstacles, Eka, 1, Rasmi, rope or rein, Eka, 1, Damanam, chariot driver, Eka, 1, Nidam, sitting place, Dvi, 2, Kumbharam, post to which the harnesses are fixed, Pancha, 5. Praharanam, weapons. Sapta, 7. Vairutam, coverings or ingredients of the body. Pancha, 5. Vikranam, processes. Haima, golden. Upashkaram, ornaments. Aruhaya, riding on. Swarna, golden. Varma, armor. Akshaya, inexhaustible. Ishadir, quiver. Ekadasa, 11. Champunata, commanders. Pancha, 5. Prastham, destinations. Objectives. Agat, went. Vanam, to the forest. Translation. The great sage Narada continued, "My dear king, once upon a time, King Puranjana took up his great bow and equipped with golden armor and a quiver of unlimited arrows and accompanied by 11 commanders, he sat on his chariot, driven by 5 swift horses, and went to the forest named Panchaprastha. He took with him in that chariot 2 explosive arrows. The chariot itself was situated on 2 wheels and 1 revolving axle. On the chariot were 3 flags, 1 rein, 1 chariot driver, 1 sitting place, 2 poles to which the harnesses were fixed, 5 weapons, and 7 coverings. The chariot moved in 5 different styles, and 5 obstacles lay before it. All the decorations of the chariot were made of gold." Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. These 3 verses explain how the material body of the living entity is under the control of the 3 qualities of the external energy. The body itself is the chariot, and the living entity is the owner of the body, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, 13. Dhyanusmin yata dihe. The owner of the body is called Dihe, and he is situated within this body, specifically within the heart. The living entity is driven by 1 chariot driver. The chariot itself is made of 3 gunas, 3 qualities of material nature, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 1861. Yatra rudani mayaya. The word yantra means carriage. The body is given by material nature, and the driver of that body is Paramatma, the Supersoul. The living entity is situated within the chariot. This is the actual position. The living entity is always being influenced by the 3 qualities: sattva, goodness; rajas, passion; and tamas, ignorance. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7:13. Sabir gunamahir bhave. The living entity is bewildered by the 3 qualities of material nature. These 3 qualities are described in this verse as 3 flags. By a flag, one can come to know who the owner of the chariot is. Similarly, by the influence of the 3 qualities of material nature, one can easily know the direction in which the chariot is moving. In other words, one who has eyes to see can understand how the body is being driven, influenced by this particular type of quality of material nature. In these 3 verses, the activity of the living entity is described to prove how the body becomes influenced by the quality of ignorance, even when a person wants to be religious. Narada Muni wanted to prove to King Prachana Barashat, that the king was being influenced by the tamagun, the qualities of ignorance, even though the king was supposed to be very religious. According to karma kandiya, the process of fructive activities, a person performs various sacrifices directed by the Vedas, and in all these sacrifices, animal killing or experimenting on the life of animals to test the power of Vedic mantras is enjoined. Animal killing is certainly conducted under the influence of the mode of ignorance. Even though one may be religiously inclined, animal sacrifice is recommended in the Shastras. Not only in the Vedas, but even in modern scriptures of other sects. These animal sacrifices are recommended in the name of religion. But actually, animal sacrifice is meant for persons in the mode of ignorance. When such people kill animals, they can at least do so in the name of religion. However, when the religious system is transcendental, like the Vaishnava religion, there is no place for animal sacrifice. Such a transcendental religious system is recommended by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 1866. Sarva dharmam parichaja, mamekam saranam vraja, aham tvam sarve papibhyo, mukshashami masuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Because King Prachana Barashat was engaged in performing various sacrifices in which animals were killed, Narada Muni pointed out that such sacrifices are influenced by the mode of ignorance. From the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2, it is said, Prohijita kavitoitara. All kinds of religious systems that are involved in cheating are completely kicked out of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Dharma, the religion dealing with one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, animal sacrifice is not recommended. In the performance of Sankirtan Yajna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There is no recommendation for animal sacrifices. In these three verses, King Puranjana's going to the forest to kill animals is symbolic of the living entities being driven by the mode of ignorance, thus engaging in different activities for sense gratification. This material body itself indicates that the living entity is already influenced by the three modes of material nature, and that he is driven to enjoy material resources. When the body is influenced by the mode of ignorance, its infection becomes very acute. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Nitai Gaura Hari ki jai, Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. When it is influenced by the mode of passion, the infection is at in symptomatic stage. However, when the body is influenced by the mode of goodness, the materialistic infection becomes purified. The ritualistic ceremonies recommended in the religious systems are certainly on the platform of goodness. But because within this material world, even the mode of goodness is sometimes polluted by other qualities, namely passion and ignorance. A man in goodness is sometimes driven by the influence of ignorance. It is herein described that King Puranjan once went to the forest to kill animals. This means that he, the living entity, came under the influence of the mode of ignorance. The forest in which King Puranjana engaged in hunting was named Panchaprastha. The word Pancha means five, and this indicates the object of the five senses. The body has five working senses, namely the hands, the legs, the tongue, the rectum, and the genitals. By taking full advantage of these working senses, the body enjoys material life. The chariot is driven by 5 horses, which represent the 5 sense organs, namely the eyes, the ears, the nose, skin, and tongue. These sense organs are very easily attracted by the sense objects. Consequently, the horses are described as moving swiftly. On the chariot, King Puranjan kept 2 explosive weapons, which may be compared to ahankara, or false ego. This false ego is typified by 2 attitudes. I am this body, ahanta, and everything in my body relationship belongs to me, mamanta. These 2 wheels of chariots, the 2 wheels of the chariot may be compared to the 2 moving facilities, namely sinful life and religious life. The chariot is decorated with 3 flags, which represent the 3 modes of material nature. The 5 kinds of obstacles or uneven roads represent the 5 kinds of air passing through the body. These are prana, apana, udana, samana, and vyana. The body itself is covered by 7 coverings, namely skin, muscle, fat, blood, marrow, bone, and semen. The living entity is covered by 3 subtle material elements and 5 gross material elements. These are actually obstacles placed before the living entity on the path of liberation from material bondage. The word rashmi, rope, in this verse indicates the mind. The word nida is also significant. For nida indicates a nest where a bird takes rest. In this case, nida is the heart, where the living entity is situated. The living entity sits in one place only. The causes of his bondage are 2, namely lamentation and illusion. In the material existence, the living entity simply hankers to get something he can never get. In the material existence, the living entity simply hankers to get something he can never get. Therefore, he is in illusion. As a result of being in this illusionary situation, the living entity is always lamenting. This lamentation and illusion are described herein as Dvi Kubara, the 2 posts of bondage. The living entity carries out various desires through 5 different processes, which indicate the working of the 5 working senses. The golden ornaments and the dress indicate that the living entity is influenced by the quality of rajagun, passion. One who has a good deal of money or riches is especially driven by the mode of passion. Being influenced by the mode of passion, one desires so many things for enjoyment in this material world. The 11 commanders represent the 10 senses and the mind. The mind is always making plans for the 10 commanders to enjoy the material world. The forest named Panchaprastha, where the king went to hunt, is the forest of the 5 sense objects: form, taste, sound, smell, and touch. Thus, in these 3 verses, Narada Muni describes the position of the material body and the engagement of the living entity within it. That's it. Quite a long purport, but very analytical. Om Jnanatirmandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Ranmilitam Yena Tasme Sri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I therefore offer my most respectful obeisances to him. So, what we understand from this purport is how the living entity is influenced by material nature in general. Of course, the living entity is not part of the material nature. The living entity is spiritual. It belongs to the para prakriti. The living entity is marginal in nature. Tatashti Shakti. So, it can get covered by a para prakriti, which is the inferior energy of the Lord, or the Daivi prakriti, which is the superior energy, or the para prakriti, the superior energy of the Lord. So being marginal, Prabhupada describes the living entity's position is like the beach. How many of you have been to the beach here? You don't have beach here, right? Have you been to the beach? No. Okay. In the beach, you get the water and you get the land. And the beach is in the middle. So the beach means sometimes it's covered by water and it's covered by land. Isn't that so? So sometimes it's high tide or low tide, it depends. When you go to the beach, sometimes that part of the land is covered by water. And sometimes during low tide, that part of the land is covered by land, the beach. So the living entity is like that. He can get covered by material energy or spiritual energy. But it is due to his desire only that allows him to be covered by either of these energies. When he is covered by material energy, he is punished by the modes of material nature. He is punished by the threefold miseries of life. He is punished by Maya, the influence of Durga Devi. So he is struggling in the material energy to compete with who? Krishna. He wants to lord it over the material energy. Not considering for a moment that he is infinitesimal. What is infinitesimal? He is so tiny, insignificant. 1/10,000 the tip of a hair. That's the size. Can anyone measure that in real terms? No, almost impossible. But he's thinking, just see, the hankara, the false ego, is considering, I am the greatest. Who is like me? But this is due to the mode of ignorance or passion even. He's thinking like this. Influence is always there. It doesn't matter what you do in the material world, what activity you perform. You are influenced by the modes of nature. Unless you are on the Vasudeva platform. This is the Suddha Sattva platform. You have to rise above the mode of goodness. But to rise above the mode of goodness, you have to come to the mode of goodness. You have to transcend passion and ignorance, tamagun and rajagun. Otherwise, not possible. So generally in Krishna consciousness, we try to be in the mode of goodness. That's what we try to do. But we don't want to remain in the mode of goodness, because it's still a material mode. If we remain in the mode of goodness, that's not going to help us. We have to transcend the mode of goodness and come to the mode of pure goodness. On the mode of pure goodness, we are in touch with Vasudeva. We are actually on the spiritual platform. We are free from the modes of material influences. We are free from the punishment of Durga Devi. We are free of the prison house of Durga. Durga means prison. So she is constantly punishing the living entities who are conditioned in this material world, who are trying to compete with Krishna in their stringent struggle for survival. How she's punishing them? With the 3 prongs of the trident. The 3 prongs of her trident is the threefold miseries: Adi Devik, Adi Doshik, and Adi Bhutik. So these 3 prongs, they are punishing the living entities constantly in the material world as an impetus, simply as an impetus. She's actually doing them a favor. So this punishment is good, because she is acting on behalf of the Lord to create an impetus for the living entity to go to Krishna. If the living entity was very comfortable in the material world, any reason to go back to Krishna? Any reason to befriend Krishna? Like Arjuna was Krishna's friend, very dear and sincere friend. The living entity is not like that. And unfortunately, in the material world, the living entity is conditioned, is envious of Krishna, is not non-envious of Krishna, is competing with Krishna. So therefore, this punishment is good for the living entity. The living entity wants to enjoy, but is suffering from lamentation and illusion constantly. Lamentation and illusion. One time, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he actually described this, what happened when he was temple commander in Los Angeles, and Prabhupada called him and showed him the first canto of Bhagavatam. And on the first canto there was the picture of the creation. And Prabhupada told him, you see this picture? He said, this is the creation. He says, only 1/4 of this entire creation is the material world. And in this 1/4 of the existence, there are millions and trillions of universes. And there's one universe that we are in. And out of the unlimited numbers of planets, this is the Earth planet that we are living on. And there are many continents. And in one continent called North America, there is one city. There are many, 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 many roads in that city. And there's one avenue called Vatsika Avenue. And there's one temple on that Vatsika Avenue. And you are the temple commander there. So, see how insignificant you are in terms of the entire creation. So, this was to obviously instruct Tamal Krishna Maharaj in this way. And it was very instructive for all of us also to consider our position in this material world, how insignificant we are in terms of the entire creation. But due to the influence of false ego, due to Maya's influence, we are feeling that we are very, very powerful, very great. And in a moment, death can come and finish off everything. Our entire existence, our assets, our capital, our possessions, even if you are brahmachari, or a few dhotis, kurta, whatever we keep in our trunk is all gone. We have to leave behind and walk away from it. So there's obviously an explanation in the nectar of devotion of bhoga and tyaga. Bhoga and tyaga. What is bhoga? Bhoga is enjoyment. And tyaga means renunciation. So bhoga and tyaga. So one time Srila Prabhupada, he asked his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. He asked him, how can we understand bhoga and tyaga in relationship to Rupa Goswami, who was very renounced, and Ramananda Rai, who was in a position of a lot of opulence. When we consider Rupa Goswami, we understand that, he wore a loincloth. Obviously, he was a sannyasi. He had just one container for water. That was basically his only possessions. And he slept under a different tree every night, not even the same tree. And he endured many, obviously, conditions. And Ramananda Rai, on the other hand, he was governor of an important state, and He was living a very opulent life, very comfortable. He had lots of servants and attendants and carriage and so forth. And he was very close to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though he was in that situation, he was very close to Lord Chaitanya. And so was Rupa Goswami. He was very close to Lord Chaitanya. I mean, Lord Chaitanya, he actually engaged Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami especially as his pen. They were his pen. He empowered them to write all these books. But Lord Chaitanya was actually writing these books through them. They were the instruments. So he was very close. They were direct disciples. And Ramananda Rai, he was a very, very confidential associate. I mean, if you consider the subjects that Lord Chaitanya discussed with him, it was very esoteric. It was very confidential. Lord Chaitanya didn't discuss these subjects with anyone else. These are very deep, rasa, tattva, very deep. And he discussed with Ramananda Rai. And Ramananda Rai wasn't even a sannyasi. So this was Prabhupada's dilemma. He asked Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj this question. So how do we explain this contradiction? That Lord Chaitanya was close to Ramananda Rai, he was close to Rupa Goswami. And how do we understand Bhog and Tyag? So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj answered this question. He said, if you consider a chaste wife of a husband, especially when the chaste wife of the husband is left alone due to the husband going away on some business, and the wife is left alone at home, she has a different composure. In other words, she maintains her chastity by not dressing too opulently. She's very renounced. She won't sleep on the bed, she'll sleep on the floor. She won't eat the opulent dishes she offers to her husband because her husband's not there, so she'll eat like very simple food. She'll not adorn herself with her ornaments or jewelry. She'll not wear any makeup. So she won't wear any fancy clothing, just a very simple sari. So in this way, she will be very renounced. But when her husband comes back after some business trip for a few days, then she will accept the husband by dressing very opulently, adorning herself with all the ornaments, the cosmetic, the makeup, the perfume, and being very attractive to her husband for his pleasure. For his pleasure. So in this way, her composure would be different. But the point is, Radha Madhav Mohan Ki Jai. So the point is that the central attraction there in both conditions is the husband. Shri Radha Madhav Mohan Ki Jai, Itai Gaurari Ki Jai, Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai. So the central attraction or the central point of doing this activity is a husband. The focus is there. It's to please the husband. In either case, it's to please the husband. So similarly, of course, Ramananda Rai, he lived a very opulent life, but his central point was Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. And Rupa Goswami, he lived very renounced life, his central point was Krishna. So the central point is the same in both of these situations. So Lord Chaitanya also, he didn't only associate with sannyasis and disregard the householders. In fact, he associated more with householders than sannyasis, because so many of his followers were householders. So what does it mean? It means that somebody can be a mahat. What's a mahat? A great soul, even if he's a householder. He doesn't have to wear saffron. He doesn't have to carry a danda. Although sometimes we regard sannyasi with danda very special position, and we offer full respect. And sometimes somebody might be very advanced, and he might be wearing white, and we might disregard that person and say, well, it's a fallen grihastha. So, but how do we know? It all is based on the consciousness, the attachment to Krishna. He may be more attached to Krishna. He may be doing more service than the sannyasi or brahmachari. Some of our big leaders in the movement are householders, GBCs, temple presidents. Like here, we have 2 temple presidents who are householders, doing wonderful service. So, what is the transition from being a conditioned soul and going towards being a Mahatma? What is the transition? Anybody knows? The transition is Sarva Dharmam Parityajya. That is the transition. When the surrender is there, the conditioned life is finished immediately. That's all it takes. It takes surrender. It's a simple thing. It's not complicated. Once the surrender is there, the transition takes place. The transition from material to spiritual. Prabhupada describes that both these energies, material energy and spiritual energy, they're both women. You know that? They're both women. Who's the woman in the material energy? Who symbolizes the material energy? Durga Devi. And who is the spiritual nature of Krishna? Srimati Radharani. She's the spiritual nature. So when one leaves Maya, he goes and takes shelter of Srimati Radharani, the divine nature. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim asritaha. So this transition from material to spiritual is possible for all living entities. It's not like select few. It's very rare, but it's not for select few. It's not like The Chosen One. There was a movie one time called The Chosen One. You seen it? Anyway, I haven't seen it. But anyway, the chosen one means, oh, this person is chosen to be special. Nobody else can be special. No, you can become the chosen one if you surrender to Krishna. And Prabhupada describes that just not surrendering, but trying to befriend Krishna, become Krishna's friend. At every moment, be Krishna's friend. Or lover, if you want to go higher. But of course, to go to that stage, we have to be Krishna's servant first. You see, we cannot jump. So, these modes of material nature, they are affecting even devotees. Do you know that? Devotees are also affected by the modes of material nature. This is described in 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. How is this happening? Just like a devotee in the mode of ignorance, how his mentality is, he'll be thinking, oh, I'm the only devotee here. All these guys are out of it. Me, I'm the devotee. I'm the real Vaishnav. Somebody in the mode of passion is thinking, well, I want to be the best. I want to be the best cook, the best Sankirtan devotee, the best Harinam leader, the best of everything. And somebody in the mode of goodness is thinking, I want to just go back to Godhead, nothing else. And how is a person in the mode of pure goodness thinking? How is he thinking? Anybody knows? Yeah, he just wants to serve Krishna. He wants to please Krishna. That's all he wants to do. His only interest is Krishna's pleasure. He's not interested in anything else. He has no conditions. Oh, I have to go back to God. I can stay here in the material world. I'm happy. I don't have to go anywhere. And I can serve Krishna here, life after life. Because It's a matter of consciousness. It's not like, oh, if I go back to the spiritual world, my consciousness is different as a devotee, and if I stay here, my consciousness is different. You can stay here and have a spiritual consciousness and be in the spiritual world and experience everything that goes on in the spiritual world, like television. But you have to be on that platform of Suddha Sattva, Vasudeva platform. So this consciousness, the change of consciousness from material to spiritual, takes place when we surrender to Krishna. Then we can become freed from the modes of material nature. But even if we're not freed from the modes of material nature as devotees, we have to come to the mode of goodness. Because from the mode of goodness we can be promoted to the mode of pure goodness. So this is what we should endeavor for. This is what we should endeavor for. So, Prabhupada describes here very clearly what the process is. And the process is Sankirtan, chanting Hare Krishna, both individually and collectively. When we do Sankirtan, Sankirtan means we gather together and we collectively glorify the Lord. That is Sankirtan. So that is the process for this age. The process is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we have fixed number of rounds, 16 rounds to chant every day. Out of all our duties that we perform in Krishna consciousness, the most important is what? Chanting Hare Krishna. That is the most important principle, chanting Hare Krishna. If we can do that 24 hours, it's good. But we can't do it. Prabhupada said, if you could do that 24 hours a day, that's very good. But because you can't do it, I have to give you all these other projects to do. One time, Lokanath Maharaj, he was on a morning walk in Juhu Beach with Prabhupada. So he asked him this question. He said, Srila Prabhupada, we have fixed rounds, 16 rounds to do. Then Prabhupada interjected and said, minimum 16 rounds. Minimum. So sometimes we think, well, I'm doing 16 rounds, and that's it. Can't go even half more round more. No, we can chant even 20. So then he said, there are some devotees, Prabhupada, they're doing 20 rounds, 24 rounds, 32 rounds, fixed every day. So how does this differ from the 16 rounds that you gave us? So Prabhupada said, well, the idea is minimum 16 rounds. If you do more, that's better. But don't go below 16. That's the idea. Then he said, Prabhupada, if we always chant Hare Krishna and do nothing else, won't we be like Haridas Thakur? We'll be imitating him, isn't that so? And Prabhupada said, imitation is good. That imitation is very good. If you chant Hare Krishna like Haridas Thakur, it's very good. So the point is that Haridas Thakur himself was a Mahatma. He came from a Muslim background. When he left his body, Lord Chaitanya carried his body and danced with him all over Jagannath Puri and put him in his samadhi. But Haridas Thakur, he was discriminated against in so many ways, both by the Muslims and by the Hindus. They didn't allow him in the Jagannath Puri temple. He used to sit outside, far away, and pay his obeisances to the chakra. But he was such a great soul, a Mahatma, that Lord Chaitanya used to make sure that he got Jagannath Prasadam every day. And he would visit him once every day, at least. So it's not about what background we come from. whether we're American, Indian, North Indian, South Indian, East Indian, West Indian, black body, white body, woman or man, we all have the opportunity to get out of this material entanglement, to become Mahatma. It's a delusion to remain in this material world. Those who remain in this material world, they are under delusion. This is described in Bhagavad Gita. Those who are not deluded, Krishna says, those great souls, they are under my divine nature. Why? Because they are rendering unswerving devotional service. Unswerving. Unswerving means devotional service with so much determination. So much determination. Consistently. Not one day we do this, one day we do that. One day we in Maya, one day we in Krishna. No, consistently. There's another word in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that describes this. It's called nirantara. Nirantara. Nirantara means without cessation. So when Lord Chaitanya was asked on 3 different occasions, who is a Vaishnava? Who is a Vaishnava? Lord Chaitanya answered the same. He said, one who chants Hare Krishna is a Vaishnava. But the last time he was asked the same question, he said, one who chants Hare Krishna without cessation. Without cessation. The first time he said, one who chants Hare Krishna once. Then he said, somebody who chants Hare Krishna and serves the Vaishnava. And then he said, someone who always chants Hare Krishna without cessation. Without cessation means all the time, in an unswerving way. Unswerving means not going here, not going here, very determined, in a very determined, didravrat, very determined way, unswerving. So, devotional service, when performed like this, attracts Krishna. Of course, especially if it's performed with devotion and love, because Krishna is Madan Mohan and Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini. Why is Krishna Madan Mohan? Because Krishna, he attracts millions of cupids. But who attracts Krishna? Srimati Radharani, because she has bhakti, devotion to Krishna. And she can also bring one to Krishna. So by taking shelter of Srimati Radharani, the divine nature, leaving this material world behind, not having one foot here and one foot there. Sometimes we want to give up material energy, or we want to give up our attachments, but we are holding on to it, and we're saying, leave me, leave me, leave me, leave me. You know that? Huh? He's laughing. Say, leave me. We're holding on to it, and we say, leave me, but actually, we should just let go, and then we can surrender. So this material world is designed to keep us away from Krishna, to keep us deluded, to punish us, as described in this purport. There's so many instructive lessons in this purport. It's a very long purport. So we, as devotees, we should do Mahat Seva. Mahat Seva means to serve the great souls, the great Mahatmas. Narada Muni, he became Narada Muni being the son of a maidservant. Because at one time, great Mahatmas came to his house. Isn't that so? And I think it was Chaturmas they came. And when they came, his mother used to take care of them, serve them prasad and stuff. He used to take their remnants and he used to hear from them. By that association alone, he became a Mahatma. But Prabhupada describes only 4 months of association have. So that's why Prabhupada says, only in a moment one can get rid of his material desires and take shelter of Krishna. In a moment, in a split second. For some, it can be a moment. But for some, it can be millions of lifetimes. So Prabhupada said, you can surrender now to Krishna, or you can surrender many lifetimes from now. But if you surrender now, you'll save yourself so much of trouble. Why postpone it? Just surrender now. Why postpone it? We keep postponing it. Last life we said we'll do it this life. Next life we'll say we do it this life. So we are postponing it. We're giving Krishna a post-dated check each time. And it bounces. Isn't that so? So Prabhupada said, if we don't do it this time, we have to surrender. The material nature is designed to force us to surrender. Not so much against our will, because the living entity has minute independence. But it's meant to make us understand, come to the platform of Gyan, make us understand, what am I doing here? This is all useless. That's what it's meant to make us. It's punishing us to make us understand, what am I doing here? This is all useless activity. Getting up early in the morning, I'm working so hard just to earn some money, which I can't live off anyway, because I have so many material desires that this money can't buy anything and everything. So this is the position we are in the material world. We chant Hare Krishna, serve the great souls, and we obviously render devotional service. We fulfill the mission of Srila Prabhupada by engaging in Sankirtan. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will take care of our surrender to Krishna. He will give us the intelligence how to approach Krishna, how to surrender. That intelligence has to come from Krishna. The endeavor we have to have, and the sincerity, but the intelligence will come from Krishna and the spiritual master. Jai. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for your wonderful explanation. Prabhu, you mentioned that to try to become best is in the mode of fashion, as Kapil Dev explained in 3rd canto. But we know somewhere Prabhupada told we should try to serve Krishna with our best possibility, best ability. Like, for example, Prabhupada says that somewhere Prabhupada told that distribution of books means selling books.
Yeah. Yeah, in other words, we want to try our best for Krishna, but we do not become attached to the result. Mode of passion means simply this. We want to do the best for Krishna, but we are attached to the result. See the difference? You see, when the Guru Maharaj tells us, okay, go out and try your best, and I want you to beat everyone. That's a direct instruction, to go and distribute as many books as possible. But if after trying our best, we come back and we haven't beaten everyone, then we shouldn't be attached to the result. When we become attached to the result, then we're not doing it for Krishna. Who are we doing it for? Tribanga. We're doing it for me, see? Or we're doing it for myself. We're not doing it for Krishna. So that's the difference. There's a subtle difference. We try our best. Prabhupada was very happy when devotees went out, competed with each other, and brought big scores. But sometimes on some days they did badly. But when they did badly, they didn't sit down and say, well, I'm not going out tomorrow. I'm hopeless, or I'm not. That's being attached to the result. But every day you go out and try your best, and when you do big, you don't become proud. You understand that it's Krishna's mercy, and you don't become attached to the results also, because at the end of the day, you're doing your best to please Krishna. But in the mode of passion, you're doing your best to show everyone, I'm the best. That means being attached to the result. Isn't that so? You understand that? Clear? Just like Prabhupada wanted the temple to be very nice, but it's for Krishna's pleasure, not our pleasure. Everything we do is for Krishna's pleasure. Sankirtan, cooking nice prasadam. Why we cook nice prasadam? You know the story how Prabhupada called Guru Maharaj and asked him, go and check how was the prasadam in Vrindavan. And he came back, he said, prasadam's not so good. He called the president, chastised the president. Prabhupada wanted everything to be pakka and the best. But if we think, well, it's for my pleasure, then it's different. Then it's the mode of passion. Okay. Any other questions? Or comments? Comment by the great Vaishnavas. The Mahat. We have some Mahats sitting here. I am acting as I know everything, but great souls are here. Yes? Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dabang Sundar Das.
Oh, it's you. I couldn't make you out. My eyes are going bad.
This is the world. You can't even recognize.
My eyes are going, due to old age.
Haribo!
Please excuse me, my eyes. You know, that's why I came to the clinic, because, you know,
Hare Krishna.
I'm getting old now, so I...
Welcome to Ujjain.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
And Govinda Das. Haribo.
Jai, jai.
Nice to see old faces.
Yes, it's so nice. Nice to get your association. I know Priyavrata Prabhu from last 24 years ago. I first met him when he came to South Africa. He came to be vice president of the Johannesburg temple, and I was serving under him. And yeah, he gave me his associations. Right, Prabhu? Yeah. So I know him from that time, and Priyavrata Prabhu is a great friend of mine. So is Govinda Prabhu. Govinda Prabhu, well, actually I was the president of the Johannesburg temple that time, and Priyavrata was the vice president. Govinda Prabhu was managing the restaurant. So that's 23 years ago we talk about, and so they're still here. They haven't blooped. These guys haven't blooped. They're still here. So it shows that Krishna consciousness works. So you young devotees, some of you all who just came recently, can take inspiration from these two devotees. They've been practicing Krishna consciousness for so long, steadily, and they have so many realizations. So take advantage of their association. They won't chase you away, don't worry. Yeah, so thank you very much. And if there's any other comments or questions, we got 5 minutes left before prasadam. I know everyone's stomach is rumbling here. I know it is. I'm going on a diet today, so I wish you all well, and I'm a little envious, so. But, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.